2023 will go down in UCI Enduro World Cup history as the year that Yeti Fox Racing Shocks' Richie Rude finally clinched his record-equalling third overall title. Cecile Ravenel and Sam Hill were the only riders to have scored a hat-trick of wins prior to this season, but as ever with Enduro, it wasn't plain sailing for Richie. The season got off to a good start with a debut venue in Medina, Tasmania. Medina featured over 2,500 vertical metres of descending and a host of visiting downhillers to contend with. Downhill would feature heavily in Richie's season, we'll come back to that later. Rude finished 7th in Medina. It mightn't have been the position he would have been hoping for, but ahead of him were no fewer than 5 Aussies racing on home soil, and crucially, he finished as the fastest of the big four. The second round of the year was on more familiar territory, albeit somewhere where Richie had yet to clock a win: Derby in Tasmania. It was the third time the top flight enduro racing had taken to the trails of Blue Derby, and it boiled down to a bar-to-bar battle between Richie and his teammate Slavomir Lukacic. The big pole rose to the challenge, but there was no stopping Rude. The big man from Connecticut opened his account for the year with the win thanks to victories on the final 2 stages.
Yeah, 2 real solid weekends, and old Jesse was out there too, so that's good, and a bit of a break and then back into it.
A big crash on stage 2 in Finale Outdoor Region left the American down but not out. 3 third places on the stages saw him battling through the pain to cross the line in 8th. Last year's champ Canyon Collective's Jesse Melamed won the race and now led the overall, with Rude in 2nd place by just 18 points. Another new venue beckoned for the 4th round of the season. Salfenden Leogang's Salzburgerland saw Enduro take up its rightful place alongside downhill and cross country. Shockwaves shot through the sport when Forbidden's Reese Werner took a debut win.
Slow start, struggled a bit on stage 1 and kind of slowly built into the day, and my bike, I started feeling better on my bike, so it's getting more and more excited as the day went on. And yeah, I ended up 2nd after not so good a result in finale. It feels good to be back on the podium.
The 5th round of the season beckoned, and a venue that Richie Rude had dominated at in previous visits: Val di Fassa, Trentino. A trio of wins here in the past weren't enough to guarantee another top step, however. Instead, the hard-charging Kiwi Matt Walker took a debut win. Again, Rude was 3rd. Again, and crucially, he was ahead of Melamed.
Yeah, stage 4 had a bit of a mishap, had a flat halfway down, and lost about 30 seconds, so that was a little tough to swallow, but yeah, I think it'll still be just trying to win every round, and but yeah, definitely the overall's in the back of my head.
Enduro shared the spotlight again, this time as part of an all-gravity affair at round 6 in a return to a modern classic, Louvain Peyragueux in France. The clinical Richie Rude stage-dominating speed was still missing that final killer edge somehow. Second on stage 1 was as high as he would climb, but championships are won via the long game. Rude finished just off the podium in 4th, but as a championship edged towards sharp end, he did take control of the overall title leader's vest. You'd have to go as far back as 2016 for Richie's most recent overall title. His towering 19 victories put him comfortably out ahead as the leading elite male racer in terms of wins, but his third crown nevertheless hung perilously in the balance come the final round of the 2023 season. Mathematically, Melamed could still do it, and he gave himself the best chance of doing so by taking 4 of the 7 available stage wins at the final nail-biting round of the UCI Mountain Bike World Series Festival Côte Savoie in Châtel. But the grit that had seen Rude through the choppiest of waters once again surfaced, and he kept himself to the front of the race thanks to a superb push in the second half of the final race of the year.
Go bam, 4 seconds. Good job. Good job, mate. Very good.
Yeah, I found what I wanted in the morning and feeling like I had some pace and pushing hard, so definitely happy. Mine's in a good place.
Richie Rude finished third to take his third UCI Enduro World Cup overall crown.
It's been a long season. I mean, started in April, and now we're here in September, finishing off the series. Feels unreal, like being up in this position, having the leader's jersey for a couple races this year, and being able to kind of close on it and yeah, make the most of it. Feels really good.
But the story didn't stop there. Pictures of a prototype Yeti downhill bike had long circulated online, and it wasn't long before it was confirmed that the newly crowned Enduro overall title winner would take on the final 2 UCI Downhill World Cup rounds of 2023. Having not raced top level downhill for a decade, Rude finished his home round in Snowshoe, West Virginia in 24th before cracking the hallowed top 20 with a 17th at one of the toughest tracks of them all, the UCI Downhill World Cup Finals in Mont Saint-Anne, Quebec. Whatever the format, whatever the bike, Richie Rude is one of the biggest stars in the UCI Mountain Bike World Series universe. But which of those bikes will we see him race more on next season? We can't wait to find out.